Hey guys, it's Frank from Cruising with Wheels. Disembarkation can be just as crazy as your first day embarkation. Let's take a look at our final day aboard the NCL Getaway in this episode of my Tales from the High Seas. Now, it was December 2nd, and the NCL Getaway was pulling back into the port of Miami. Cruise over. Great time was had. But, it was time to go home. Now, Kevin and I were up about 6 a.m. We did quick coffee and grabbed a Danish and croissant. Kevin ran up to the buffet, came back down. So we kind of got that all over with, took our morning medications, and we were ready to leave. By about 8 a.m., we were going to be out of the cabin. Now, we only had with us Kevin's backpack, and I had my shoulder tote, because the night before, we had put out both pieces of luggage to be picked up and taken off the ship. And that's pretty much what we usually do. So we have very, very minimal with us to carry off. Now, out by 8, we went down to Oceans to kind of wait, because I think that's the deck we were going to get off. And what I usually do is I want to park myself near the closest handicap bathroom. Because, I need to take that last potty break before we get off the ship. Now, our car service wasn't going to come till 9:30, so, I'm very cognizant of planning my time in terms of potty break, off the ship, and into the car. So, all has to be planned, because you never know. And what's going to happen sometimes is there's going to be some snags along the way. So I'm sitting in my wheelchair right outside the public restrooms, and I'm watching everybody walking by, and everyone's like, they're being directed, get in this line, get in this line. Oh, you're self-assist with your own luggage. Oh, you can go right here. Go ahead, blah, blah, blah. And I think Kevin went to go find Dave and Darlene. I think they were off having breakfast somewhere. So he went off tooling around trying to find them, just to make sure that we were all on the same page of exactly what time we were going to meet to disembark the ship and get into port and, go through customs and all that, just in time to meet our driver, because we were obviously docking in Miami, but we were flying out of Fort Lauderdale. So that's about a 45-minute drive for the car service from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. So got to plan everything. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of people watching and making notes, and Kevin is off as usual. Now, we had already had that little bit of crazy experience of, on the elevator coming from our cabin down to the deck to get off the ship. If you remember from a previous video, we were on the elevator with another couple, all going to the same deck to disembark when, he couldn't wait and he wanted to jump over me to get out of the elevator. So we've already gone through that. But what happened next while Kevin was off somewhere, I get, I'm always, those of you I'm sure can relate when it concerns accessing the bathrooms. Okay? And now I'm always a nervous wreck, especially like at the airport when you know that the flight's about to board I'm planning my time, and I'm thinking, okay, the gate agent said we're boarding in about 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna head to the men's room, and you get to the men's room because sometimes they don't have a private family bathroom that I can get into, and even if they did, you get there and it's occupied, and that's always my biggest worry. And for those of you in wheelchairs and scooters, whatever, I'm sure you can relate that, when you need to get into a handicap stall or a private handicap bathroom and it's occupied, when you're on a time constraint, that's the biggest worry. So I'm sitting there and I'm figuring about 8:45, I'm going to do the potty break. Now, segue back a little bit about the cruise. There was a fairly large contingent of visually impaired passengers, and we saw them throughout the cruise. And I think there was about at least a dozen of them. They were visually impaired, but they had a lot of chaperones with them, and hopefully they had a great time like we did. Now I'm sitting there outside the bathroom, and one of the visually impaired gentlemen with I'll say chaperone, I don't know, friend, relative, chaperone, whoever, comes over, and they're going to go into the handicap bathroom. And so, I'm just sitting there, and I've got my journal, and I'm making notes, and I'm doing my thing, but I'm always watching and listening. So the chaperone is like, okay, we're at the bathroom. I'm gonna, here, let me push the button. All right, you go in and do what you got to do, and I'll be out here waiting for you. Very similar to me and Kevin. I go into the bathroom. He's always outside waiting for me. The big difference is that the gentleman is visually impaired. He had the walking stick. I'm not sure if he was totally blind or just legally blind, but visually impaired. But I'm thinking to myself, I know how these bathrooms work. It's a private, locked, handicap bathroom. Okay? And though you push the button and the door automatically opens for you, the door then closes, and take a look, because we did a video on the handicap bathroom process and how it all works.
Handicap bathrooms. Da, 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 da.
Show them this one, Boo.
Oh, this is interesting because this is a sliding door.
I'm going to push the button.
Okay. And you hit the button. It slides. Now, most of them open out. So I'm going to take you in. Kevin's going to push me in. And I'm going to film inside this gorgeous, gorgeous bathroom. It just really is beautiful. Everything in this on the ship is all upscale wood grained. And we were in a bathroom. Even the floors are just quite lovely.
These are my new shoes.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's Kevin's new shoes? Oh, there they are. Beautiful.
They're beautiful, but they're killing my feet.
Yeah, sad.
So when the door finally decides to close.
Oh, let's get over here.
Because it does take, 25, 30 seconds.
There it goes. It's closing. And once it closes, he's going to hit the lock. Oh, no. Let it close. You can't. It's a sensor.
I didn't do
Don't
it.
Don't touch it until it closes. Now we have to wait.
I didn't touch it.
You attempted. I have it on record. I have it on film. And now it's going to close. Let it close and latch. And then you hit the lock button. Lock button.
Okay, so now we push the lock button.
And the light goes on.
And the light goes on, and it'll also go on outside.
Right. So when people approach the handicapped bathroom, they will see the light is on, and they will know that someone is inside.
Oh my God, did you just see that?
Oh, demonstrate the brand new trash receptacle. It has two buttons.
But I didn't push anything.
One to O. Oh, hi. It's like a little R2-D2. You can hit.
And then when you
Yeah,
do like
but it
that,
also
close?
has an open and close button. There is a baby changing station. Kevin, you can whip out your baby and change it.
No, I left that thing at home.
Okay.
Where's your baby?
There is a sensor. If you wave your hand, the toweling will come out. And there it is. Lovely. You then have the sink, soap dispensers, a tilted mirror, and a hand dryer. 2 toilet paper dispensers, and of course, the magical toilet. Trumpets playing on the toilet. It has grab bars all the way around.
Okay,
And
so
it has a grab bar right here that actually can come down if you so need it to support yourself. But I don't, so it goes back up. And behind me, what's behind me? Turn me around so I can see what's behind me.
I don't know. There's nothing.
Just turn me around. Turn me around.
Did you tell me
Turn
her
me
texture?
around. Yes. It's lovely artwork. What else can I say?
I gotta go potty.
Okay, now Kevin has to go potty.
I didn't go potty.
The toilet automatically flushes when you step away. So I'm going to turn the camera off so that peeing may commence.
Now, as you can see, when someone gets in there, the door closes after a certain period of time, and you hit the button to lock the door, and the light goes on outside to tell everyone else that it's occupied with someone in it. You go and you do your business, but when you're done, you have to hit that button to unlock it to get out. So I'm, sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, if he's blind, how's he gonna find the buttons to unlock or the button to hit to open the door? If you're blind, I didn't hear, the chaperone, whoever, didn't go in with him and didn't tell him where to find the button. So I'm thinking, how does a blind person get out of this private room? And yeah, I was right. Because when he was done, he was like, I can't get out. I can't get out. I don't know how to open the door. And I'm thinking to myself, duh, exactly what I was thinking to myself. I hate to be right, but that's what I was thinking. You got him down here, you got him in, but how's he going to get out? He doesn't know where the buttons are to open the door. And I think the chaperone, when the guy went in, hit the lock button because the light was on, and then the door closed. Well, the poor guy in there can't find the button to unlock the door, ergo then hit the other button to open the door. And so the guy's like, well, it's on the wall. It's on the wall. And the guy, I can't find it. I can't find it. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Now I'm looking at my watch going, okay, we're approaching the time where I need to get into the bathroom, right? And someone is stuck in the bathroom and can't get out. So the guy goes, I'm going to have to find someone. I'm going to have to find someone to get you out. I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy is trapped. Now we got to go find a crew member, officer, whatever. It's a whole gamalieri of stuff that, has got to happen to get this poor guy out of this locked bathroom. And I'm thinking, why does this always happen? Whether it's in the airport or on the cruise ship or somewhere where I'm so worried about the bathroom, something always happens right before I'm ready to use it, where I'm like, okay, it's time, and I head to the bathroom, and there's someone occupying the stall or room, or I'm headed to the bathroom, and just before I get there, the maintenance guy walks in, and I'm like, oh, why do they have to clean it now? And I'm like, well, okay, I'm just going to let him know if he's cleaning that I need to use it. And then all of a sudden he comes out and the sign goes on the door, closed for maintenance. And I'm like, oh my God, what did the previous guest do? What did he crap all over, clog the toilet? Why does this always happen when I need to use it? Ugh. Get so aggravated. But anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this poor guy. Eventually an officer comes down with the keys and he, unlocks it, and the poor guy is finally free from the bathroom. And it's like he gets the guy out, and I'm thinking, why didn't he just go in there with him? I mean, I know it's a privacy thing, but it's not like it's the general men's room that have, regular stalls and a handicap stall. Because at least the chaperone could have been out, in the area waiting for him to come out of the stall. You got privacy. But when you're in a special room that has these lock mechanisms, you can't let someone in there that's blind and doesn't know how to get out. I thought that was bizarre when I saw them go in. I knew I was right when it was all going down, and there was no thought process. And I didn't want to stick my nose and go, excuse me, but how's he going to get out? Because you got to find the buttons to unlock the door and the button to open the door. He's blind. How's that going to happen? Did anybody think about this? So, that all went down. Luckily, he was saved. Now, the next story involves Kevin. The first story was mine. The second story is his. Now, he ran in while I was trying to find Dave and Darlene. We're having breakfast somewhere. He ran into this guy on the elevator who I think had watched our videos. I don't know if he was a regular subscriber, but he said, oh, don't I know you? Aren't you those YouTube people? Because, maybe he saw us filming on board the ship. But apparently this guy literally wanted Kevin to hold his hand every step of the way and tell him exactly what to do. Tick, 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 tick. And he was going on, oh, my wife's in a wheelchair, and I don't know how to do this, and I need to know that, and and Kevin's like, okay, well, if your wife's in a wheelchair, basically get her down to the La Cucina, because that's where wheelchair assist is, okay? And pretty much you're going to check in. There's going to be a crew member there, and they're probably going to take your name and get you on the clipboard, and when it's time to get off, first come, first serve, they will assign you a crew member, and they will wheel you off, so you don't have to worry about getting her off yourself. They'll get you down to the port terminal, but that's as far as they go. Is it your wheelchair or her wheelchair? Whose wheelchair is it? Because that's another important step. And he was like, oh no, we rented this wheelchair. He goes, oh, okay, well, first of all, the rented wheelchair from whatever company, Special Needs at Sea or whoever, you need to leave that wheelchair in your stateroom, because that's where the company's going to pick it up, because that's where they dropped it off when you boarded. So you need to leave that in there. So you're going to have to get down to La Cucina and tell them that they are going to have to get a ship's wheelchair or Miami port wheelchair for your wife, because you're going to have to leave that one in your cabin. So you got to do that. And then, they'll have you at La Cucina kind of waiting in line, and they'll call your name and they'll get you off. And but that wheelchair belongs to the port. So how are have you made arrangements for, are you going to have assistance in terms of getting to the airport? Are you doing a ship's transfer, a private car service, a cab? So Kevin's trying to go through this, and the guy was like, I don't know, but you got to help me, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, and I need you to come with me, and you need to arrange this, and you need to help me. And Kevin's like, well, I've already told you what to do, and that's where you go, and they're going to be able to assist you. And Kevin's like, yeah, I got my own husband in a wheelchair, okay? And then thinking, well, kind of this is what happens when you don't bring your own wheelchair. So, he's really trying to help him out as best he can, going down the whole list. But some people need you to literally hold their hand every step of the way. It's like, dude, you're an adult. Put your big boy pants on. I'm telling you what to do, and you're kind of going to have to run with it, okay? And elicit the help and advice of the ship's crew. And, I'm not your travel agent. I can just do so much because, I have a husband, I have a life, and I've got stuff I've got to do. So, that was all going on. So after all of that, of Kevin literally checklisting for this guy, step by step, instructions of who, what, where, when, and why, and if you have this, do this, and if you have that, do that, and this is where you go, and the whole process, he still wasn't satisfied. After all of that, he was like, well, he literally wanted Kevin with him and his wife, taking him through the whole process, and he still wasn't happy after all of that, and he yelled at Kevin. And he was like, well, that's not a lot of help, you stupid little come on. Dude, we didn't have to tell you jack. How about that? But we understand, the plight and the conditions involved when you have a family member that's in a wheelchair or using a scooter or a walker or whatever. We know what life is like. We're here to help. That's why we do what we do. He went through everything with you, but sorry, we can't hold your hand up until the time that you're walking in the front door of your house. Come on, take responsibility for your own. You're not a child, you're an adult. And then to get mad and yell at him? Please, give me a break. So, that's a little bit of what happened on the ship on Disembarkation Day. Yeah, we did end up finding Dave and Darlene, met, and at about 8:45, 9 o'clock, I did get into the bathroom, did my business, and we were off the ship into the port terminal. But that's a story for another episode of my Tales from the High Seas, because once we were in the port terminal, it all went crazy. So join me again for another episode coming up soon. And on behalf of Kevin and myself from Cruising with Wheels, I want to remind you that not only are we here on wonderful YouTube with these great videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button to become a regular Cruising with Wheels family member, but we're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. So remember to always travel safe and cruise often.